Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, the first one, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my story? Is Hidden Identity. I am a Zimbabwean woman and I have come here because I have my own confession that I want to share with you, and my story, it goes on like this. I stole money from my boss, and this was after my boyfriend had told me that once we stole this money, then we were going to enjoy for the rest of our lives. I did not know that I was going to end up becoming a ritualist, and I did not even have a choice to refuse or not to refuse. I did not have any choice because by then I didn't even know what was happening. Really, I was running mad. I was working as a maid, and the man that I was working for, he had his wife, but he was someone that was involved in a lot of criminal activities. He was very wealthy, he had a lot of money, but all the things that he used to keep at his house, they were not even allowed by the law to sell them. He used to deal in rhino horns, and by the time that we stole the 28,000 US dollars that was in the safe, there was an elephant tusk that was there, and he was waiting for this other white man who was going to drive from South Africa to come and buy it and to return with it back to South Africa. And this was also an illegal deal that he was going to do. That is why we took that advantage, and then we stole the money that was hidden in the safe. When I started working for him, I knew what they were doing, just that I did not have anyone to tell that my boss that I work for, he is involved in a lot of criminal activity. It then happened that I met the man who became my husband. He had also run away from South Africa. He told me that when he had arrived in South Africa, in Cape Town, he made a mistake to become friends with some coloreds in the neighborhood where he was staying. And he said that they made him to join a colored gang, and they were involved in stealing cars, armed robberies, even entering into people's homes and stealing some stuff. He then ran away from South Africa. He then came to Zim, and when he came back, that was when I met him. We then started dating, and when he told me about his past, that was when I said, do you know that my boss, he always keeps huge amounts of money in the house, and as I am speaking with you right now, there is some money that is there, just that I did not know the password to the safe. He had this other safe that he used to keep in his office because he had an office at home, and it was one of those big safe where you can put those long hunting rifles, and then on top, but inside the safe, then there was a partition where you could put those little safe, and that was where he would put the money. I had watched him several times. It was just that I did not know what the password was. So I was having a discussion whilst we were in bed, me and my boyfriend. As we were talking about this, then he said, you know, if we can steal that money, I am telling you, Ruth, we can start our lives afresh. And it was really tempting. And I asked him how exactly he was going to do it. He then told me that I was supposed to look for a way which they could enter into the house without force, and then they would just make it look like it was forced entry, just in case if the people were going to report. But he then said that he knew guys like my boss who were illegal diamond dealers and illegal gold buyers. They will never want to inform the police if such a crime will happen, because even at that house, my brother, there was this other Ford Ranger. It did not have any number plates. This Ford Ranger, it was as if it had been stolen, and they were still waiting for the papers to be processed, because during the day they used to cover that car with taps, those big tents that they use on the trucks. Then at night, him and his wife, they would drive that Ford Ranger not to go far, but in the same neighborhood where they were staying, just to go to the shops, and then they would return back home. They only drove it at night. So my boyfriend was like, if you see a car that is only driven at night and it does not have a number plate, it is always hidden during the day, then it means that it is a stolen vehicle. They are still waiting for the papers for that car to be processed so that they can start driving it even during the day. So when he told me all of these things, and I also told him that in the garage there was a big printing machine. They used to make fake money, and I don't know where they used to sell this money, whom they sold it to. So they will never inform the police. That's what my boyfriend told me, and he was right when he said that with all the things that is happening at their house, they would never want to inform the police if we steal this money. So I then told my boyfriend that I had found the perfect way for him to gain access into the house. They had a balcony, and this balcony, it had a double slided door. So there was one of the sliding door that could not open unless if you used a screwdriver. I was the only one who knew how to open that sliding door. So when my boyfriend and his friends that he had gotten, the other gangsters, entered into the house, I had told them how to access that door, and after they had stolen the money, they stole the safe and they went away with it, and then they just smashed the glass window as if they had used that entrance, but they had just opened the door. So the way that they opened the safe, it was because I knew the password. One day, my boss called me into the office and he said that he was waiting for these other people that were going to come and visit him. Therefore, I was supposed to clean the office. Whilst I was cleaning the office, I then saw him walking towards the safe. I pretended as if I was polishing the table, and I was looking and I saw the password and I memorized it because it was a digital one. You could see the password, and then I memorized it, and later on I wrote it down and I gave it to my boyfriend, and we stole 28k. And then I started to get sick, and after I had started to get sick, 3 weeks later, then I returned back to the village where my parents were staying, and later on I told them the truth because I was starting to see shadows that would follow me around, and I would fight with people. And I used to tell my parents that the door was open, yet the door would be locked. I would see someone that will be standing in front of the door. So they started to see that I was running mad. My boyfriend then came. We then sat down with my parents about this, and my father then told us that he knew of this other old woman who was called Gogo Chabwera, who was from Zimba in Malawi. She had worked with my father's parents in a farm that is in Marondera, and she was a well-known traditional healer. My father knew where some of her grandchildren were staying here in Harare. So then my boyfriend went and spoke with them, and they were given phone numbers of others that were staying in Blantyre in Malawi. Those were the people that directed us to go to the place where Gogo Chabwera was staying. When we arrived there, I was running mad. My boyfriend was then told that in order for me to be cured and to do a go back to sender, because those people that we had stolen from, they had gone to visit a traditional healer and they had done a go back to sender, and after they had done a go back to sender, that was when I started to go mad. And in order for me to be okay, this go back to sender that we were going to do, what was going to happen was that my boss, he was the one that would go mad. If I was supposed to die, he was supposed to die. So we were taken to the graveyard late at night, and then we were made to sleep on top of a grave. And that traditional healer did not even beat around the bush. He just said, in order for you to be cured, I am going to give you some of my tokologies that protected me when I was still in Zim, and those tokologies, they still protect me. This is the only way that you can be cured. So my boyfriend, he accepted for me to become a ritualist, to have these tokologies. He said that he did not have any choice. He wanted to save my life. So we were given 2 calabashes. I was given a calabash, but he was holding it for me. And inside that calabash, there was blood that was in them. And the instructions that were given to us, according to my boyfriend, who is now my husband, is that these calabashes that were given to us, they are always supposed to be full of fresh blood. At the time of the ritual, Gogo Chawera, what she did was that she took chickens and she slaughtered them, and then she squeezed the blood into the calabash, one that belonged to me and one to my husband. And when we returned back to Zim, in order for me to be cured and for the go back to sender to start happening, one was supposed to die from my relative side and also my husband. So me and my parents, we then sat down, and my father, he then said that he did not want any of his children to die because of this. He then chose one of his brother, and he said that this elder brother of mine, since they already had a grudge, I want his son to die. So my father then said, you are supposed to buy some clothes for him as well as for your cousin brother, the one that you would have chosen to die. So then I bought some groceries in Harare, and a suit that I had bought for my uncle. This suit was taken by my father to a traditional healer. The day when I arrived in the village, I met with my parents at the growth point, and they gave me the clothes that they had taken to the traditional healers. And then I drove to my uncle's house, for he did not know that I had already met my parents. I gave him the clothes, including the grocery, and later on, after my cousin brother, he had gone to dig up for gold illegally, that was when a big rock fell on top of him and he died. They could not take out his body. He was buried inside that mine shaft. So his blood is the one that I was using. And as for my former boss, he then started running mad until he passed away. To this very day, me and my husband, we are ritualists. We started our businesses in Kwekwe, and the rules that we have to follow is that we are not supposed to sleep on a bed. And when it is raining, if it happens that you are out in the rain and you get wet from the rain that will be falling from the sky, then you will start to go mad instantly. So during the raining season, me and my husband, we only go out when we are sure that it won't rain on that day. When it is raining, we stay in the house, and if we are in the car, we do not get out of the vehicle until it would have stopped raining, for this is what we were told by the traditional healer. And the other thing is that when we go to bed, we do not use blankets. We sleep on the floor on top of animal skins, and we use animal skins as if they are blankets, for these are the rules that were given to us by Gogo Chabwera from Malawi. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section. Then there is another message that was sent to us by one of our brother who is asking for advice. The message, it reads like this: I have a curse from the Marine Kingdom. I dated a Zimbabwean woman who was our maid, and I made her pregnant several times, and her spirit is haunting me. I am asking for help from Zimbabwean people, if there is anyone who knows how to deal with a marine spirit. I am a South African man, and I am aged 44 years old. I am writing this because I am exhausted and tired. I'm scared. I need help. I need answers from mainly Zimbabwean people, because my maid, she was from Zimbabwe. My life before everything broke was okay. I was not a rich man, but I was doing very well. I had a small company and we did tenders. I had workers. I drove a nice car. and we lived in a good suburb. I was upper middle class. Life was okay, life was peaceful, life made sense until the year 2016. My wife hired a maid. My wife said that she wanted a maid that was not South African but Zimbabwean. Then my wife hired a Zimbabwean maid. Her name hidden. She was very beautiful. She was so nice, light-skinned. She had a very kind heart, and she worked really hard, and she never answered back whenever my wife would get cross with him. But there was something that was strange about him. She was like, those people that worship ancestors. She always had beads, she always burned herbs, and my wife and I started fighting a lot after this woman had started working for us. I don't know how. We were fine before that, but after the maid came, there was chaos that entered into the house. I was stressed, work was heavy, my marriage was breaking apart. I was angry at all the times at my wife. One day, I looked at the maid and said to myself, maybe she can take away my stress. That was the day when I destroyed my life. I started dating her in secret. At first, she refused. And she cried, she begged, and she said, I do not want to sleep with my boss. What will happen if your wife finds out? And she said to me something that did not make sense at that time. I come from a family that worship marine spirits. I am only allowed to marry amongst my people and someone that is also from the same clan, but those that worship the marine spirits as well. So I cannot mix with you, and you are dirty in front of me because you are a married man. It will curse me. But I forced him, I pushed him, and I forced to sleep with her, and I told her, do not worry, nothing will happen. I was wrong. She started to get sick, she fell pregnant, and I said to him, you must abort. You cannot give birth to this child because my wife, if she finds out, she will divorce me and I will lose everything. She cried and she said, please do not make me to do this. A child is a blessing. Why do you want to kill my blood? I forced her to do the abortion. She nearly died the first time. 3 months later, she fell pregnant, and I forced her to drink several sachets of grandpa. Another abortion. She got sick, but I did not stop. She fell pregnant the third time. She bled for days. She fainted, and we rushed her to the hospital. She then passed away. It was in March of 2017, around 4 p.m. when she passed away. I had gone to visit her, and I was told that she had died, she had bled, and she had complications from many abortions. And then when this happened, that was when I started to notice that my businesses, they were collapsing. Tenders, I stopped getting tenders. Clients, they just disappeared, and we were using some rigid tracks in my business. They would always break down, losing money. Suppliers were turning against me. Then my marriage died. My wife left, and when my wife left, that was when I started to have nightmares. I always see this woman in my dreams. She will be holding a baby, but when she says, come and look at the child that we had together, when I look at that child, it will be blood that she will be holding, and she will throw that blood at me. And when I wake up, this is what really terrifies me. I urinate now in bed. At this age, this happens after I would have these terrible nightmares. There are times when I see myself underneath the water. Sometimes I see a big rock that will be in the middle of a river, and there will be a woman that will be sitting there. I am being chased by snakes, being chased by mermaids. I even see 3 children that say daddy to me. They will be swimming in the water. So I once had a dream about this woman. She said, you touched a woman from the water and you made her to become dirty, and she was killed by her mermaids, and now you are supposed to sacrifice to the river goddess so that you can be forgiven. I don't understand anything about Zimbabwean marine spirits. I don't understand anything. I know something is wrong. I don't know if there is anyone that can help me. I once asked even in a Zimbabwean group about how to fix this, how to repay the spirit. I don't know. There is no one that gave me a proper answer. So when I came across the videos on your page, I think that maybe your people might assist me. I know that she died because of me. Is there any way to correct what went wrong? I am broke. I can't sleep. My company is gone. My wife hates me. My kids, they do not talk to me. I don't know Zimbabwean culture. I know nothing about marine spirits. I don't know how to fix this. Please tell me, what must I do so the spirits can forgive me? How do I repay the children that I destroyed? How do I rest a woman that I killed? How do I make sure that my life returns back to normal? Please assist me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section.